to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational, this is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Couple of things. It's slick out there. I got held up in snow traffic this morning. And you just know, when you're on the road at the same time every morning, you have people that are also on the road at the same time every morning.
Yeah.
They become like your friends or even enemies.
Your obstructions.
Or absolutely, what do you call it, Beth?
Your competition.
Your competition. Beth is with us this morning.
I drive by. I live on the other side of the prisons. So I'm usually looking at people between like 6 and 6:15 getting in for shift change.
Their shift change.
Yeah.
So I know there's this one person that is, I believe, I normally wouldn't give his name, but I'm going to. His name is Johnny Molasses. And and he is like a 20-mile-an-hour person.
Oh.
And that's when the roads are clear in the middle of June. So this morning, I just could not get in front of him because there was a line coming one way, a line coming the other, and Johnny Molasses got right in front of me. But then on the arterial, I will tell you, this is a fluffy, slippery snow.
Yes.
And there's an accident in the westbound. So the arterial turns into 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's an accident. It looks like a car and a tractor trailer. And it looks like it just happened. Police are there. Expect that. And that's that area. As you're coming down the arterial, and just as you get up there near French Road is where it is. That's that area where traffic, if there's a fender bender, traffic turns into a nightmare. So beware.
Yeah.
If you're coming south on Route 12, and then which turns into 5A, 5B, 12, 12B, 12C,
CBD,
whatever. That area in the southbound or westbound lane, expect some traffic this morning.
And you talk about it being bad over there when there's an accident. It's the area where there's the back-to-back bridges, right? So you can get off at French Road, and then you can almost get off at Murnane Field, essentially. But there's the 2 bridges, and it gets real narrow. So if you have an obstruction with a lane closure, it does get pretty tight up there.
And I have a feeling it had to do with the fact that it was just very slippery. So be aware of that. I will say that we had a little issue this morning with the new Jimmy Fallon commercial, which was playing over and over along with the older commercial over and over. I don't know if you heard, Jimmy Fallon is coming to Rome.
Wait, he's coming back?
He's coming Saturday night.
This Saturday?
Yeah. So
Read the paper, Jeff.
I think we made it clear, Davey, this morning. We made it very, very clear. Davey, I did speak with him, and he's planning on a little rendezvous. I don't want to say any more, but he'll want to see you before the show.
Oh,
probably.
okay.
You feed him some jokes and stuff.
Well, Syracuse plays at noon, so hopefully it's going to be
after that.
Yeah.
Or at least after halftime, because you never know, right?
Oh, so he does want to include me then.
I'm just saying.
Well,
if
as you know, I'm officially his fan club of president of upstate New York.
You are.
He said that on the air yesterday.
Yes, you are. I did hear that too.
Well, 2 things. First of all, if we're going this route, have I been included?
No.
Awesome.
No. It's just Davey.
Secondly, I don't know if you heard, but I think Davey got promoted. He's the president of the fan club of all of New York State.
Of all of New York State.
He was just the upstate bureau, but he's been promoted.
He's taken over the entire state, so that'll be big. Tanya Power's coming up in a few minutes. President Trump raising some eyebrows after Republicans actually raising eyebrows from both Republicans and Democrats, saying that Republicans should nationalize the elections. I do enjoy when people, when he says stuff, and my favorite line from people is, "Oh, that's just him. He's kidding." Oh, okay. Here we go again, TDS. Oh, I swear to God. And yesterday I thought it was also interesting. He said, I think it's time that America gets over this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Did he really?
Yes,
Oh,
I do.
Oh, my God.
Time to move on. Time to move on. Pay no attention to the 3 million documents that still exist but have been redacted. Pay no attention.
Does that mean the Clintons don't have to worry about what they're going to wear in front of Congress?
Apparently, and they are testifying, and that's only going.
They are.
And I got to tell you something. That is only going to keep this thing alive. Now, he also, who's the guy that did the Grammys? What's his name? Hold on, I'll bring you up.
Trevor Noah.
Trevor
Bill.
Noah. It was like 5 or 6 years in a row he did the Grammys. His joke at the end was something about there was something about Greenland and the president wanting Greenland. And of course, he wants Greenland. Now with Epstein gone, he needs a new island for to hang out with Bill Clinton. So I thought it was an equal opportunity joke. However, the president did not like it and says he's going to sue Trevor Noah. I don't think it works that way. I mean, you can sue over anything, right?
Yeah, I don't think it works that way either. So what did he say? Didn't he lay into Tucker Carlson recently and say, he's terrible, he's horrible? I'm paraphrasing.
It's possible.
He needs to get a network. He doesn't have a network.
Well, but here's the funny thing.
And he's got a podcast with a bigger network than Fox News.
A larger audience than he had when he was on Fox. I think he has become more influential since he has left. And I've been talking about this, whether it be TV or radio or whatever. The world is changing very, very quickly. The establishment, not needed like it used to be needed. Look at what the Buffalo Bills, which I guess you could call them the establishment, look at what they just announced. They're getting rid of their radio broadcast. They're going to run it on their own, and it's going to be streamed. No more need for WGR in Buffalo. That is a legendary partnership. And basically the Bills are saying probably there was negotiation. It wasn't going well. And the Bills are like, screw it. We don't need you. And I think that is the world where we are going. We would never do that, anything like that. Although, hi, Bob, on YouTube. Good morning. Here's Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio, standing by right now. Tanya, good morning. The Bob thing I made up. I just threw that in there. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning.
All interesting stuff as we watch our profession and others in media, how it is changing very, very quickly. President Trump raising some eyebrows. How many times have we said that? After saying Republicans should nationalize voting in at least 15 places, Democratic cities, what does it mean? How are lawmakers reacting? By the Constitution, elections are run by the states currently,
yes,
and probably will continue to be that way. What are your thoughts, Tanya?
Well, I mean, it would require the Constitution to be changed because that is one of the things it does enshrine in there is that the states are the ones that handle elections. So that's what it would take to change that. The comments were made on Dan Bongino's podcast. Dan Bongino was the former deputy of the FBI, and he left to go back to his podcast, and he had President Trump on. And the quote was, he was talking about immigrants, voting in the election, which non-citizens are not allowed to vote in the first place. I just want to remind everybody of that. But he was talking to him about that and basically, said that they're all coming here to vote illegally from what he was saying is. And then after that, he kind of went into, the whole take over the voting thing. He said, this is a quote, the Republicans should say, we want to take over. He said, we should take over the voting in at least many 15 places. He just threw 15 out there. Yeah. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting. That was his quote. He said he did not explain what he meant by that. He did not say which states he had in mind. He said that it was needed for the GOP to seize control because, quote, people were brought to our country to vote and they vote illegally. He said, we have states that are so crooked. We have states that I won that show I didn't win. So, and it is also important to note that, there has never been widespread evidence of voting fraud.
It's even beyond that. By the way, for those wondering, one of those states that said that he didn't win and he won, he actually won Greenland. I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to say this, Tanya. This is these are. It's not that there's no evidence that he didn't win or he won. No evidence that he won. There's evidence that he didn't. This was went in through several lawsuits, and President Trump lost every single lawsuit, every single one in multiple states. With judges oftentimes that were appointed by Republicans, appointed by George Bush. So, but there, here he is overseas talking about this. What an awful look for the rest of the world to look at us and say, yeah, even the United States can't run a fair election. I mean, pretty bad stuff. I'm sorry to be talking about not only here but abroad, in my opinion.
Well, the other thing, here's the thing that I have always found interesting about this argument of that the 2020 election results were rigged and that they weren't correct and that they were false and whatnot. Has anybody ever heard from the rest of the Republicans down the ballot who did get elected in 2020 going, hey, we were actually elected, so maybe they weren't false?
That is logic, Tanya, and logic out the window. That is logic. That's a really good point.
Just in New York alone, you've got Maliotakis, you've got Stefanik, you've got Chris Jacobs. They all won in November of 2020. I don't think they would say, yeah, you know what, this was not right. I shouldn't have been elected. I've never heard that.
If anybody could have had an argument, it would have been the Democrats who would say, that can't happen in New York. But it did, and it fairly happened. In fact, it was the New York delegation that really gave Mike Johnson his majority in the House. So, yeah, good points. Very interesting stuff. And it did get... Once again, Mike Johnson saying, I think the last time I remember him saying something like this, it was, we have no interest. We are not going to go after Greenland. And, of course, we certainly publicly have around the world. But in this case, yesterday, he said elections by Constitution are run by the states. It's always been that way. It always will be that way. So, well, we'll see what today brings. Tanya, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. And,
Thank you.
Stay warm in the city.
Thank you.
All right. Tanya Powers. The other issue that I think is just crazy is this Savannah Guthrie story. Davey, I didn't see this, but you're saying it's in the news now that there was a ransom note left because it didn't make any sense. Why would her mother be taken?
And that was the first thing that popped into my mind.
Is it because it's Savannah Guthrie's mother? Apparently there is medicine that she's supposed to be on. And
now they're saying it's obvious at the scene that she was taken from her bed. There was blood found on the scene.
Go, Davey.
It says alleged ransom note for Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping demands millions in Bitcoin, Bill.
Okay.
So the other thing is, the headline I have here this morning is that they're working to confirm the validity of it, which I would say it would be quite a coincidence if someone just left a ransom note by chance.
Are they saying somebody else snuck in the house afterwards and left a note? Or
we just witnessed that kidnapping. Let's go leave a note and see if we can.
Are they saying was it found in the house?
Let me see.
I do not know. I didn't even see this story. So,
police investigating the ransom note. It doesn't say where it was found. I can find it.
I will tell you that if you're watching any of the NBC coverage, obviously this hits them very hard because she was a regular on the Today Show.
She was supposed to be on her way to the Olympics.
And Savannah was on her way to the Olympics, but the mother was a regular on the Today Show. And obviously Savannah Guthrie has canceled their trip for the opening ceremonies and the Olympics, most likely. But they keep interviewing the sheriff there, who I think is just, first of all, I don't know what it is about reporters today, but we seem to ask questions over and over again. So you ask your first question, and then you'll reform it and ask it again. You've really asked the same question 2 or 3 times. That bugs me. And I'm not sure that this sheriff has been in the limelight like this before, and he's everywhere right now. So something Steve Houck always talks about, who really schools a lot of police departments when it comes to communication around the country. And the program today, you want to add something?
Well, I don't have the location where it was discovered, but I have here that it contains specific details about the home and what Nancy Guthrie was wearing that night, and that investigators...
So
Wow.
it sounds like they didn't find it at the scene. Because they're describing the home.
Or it sounds like somebody took some time to write it.
Yeah, sounds like they have it now. Now, that could be a hoax. Somebody trying to take advantage.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. They're also saying that the agents have decided to share the contents of that note with Savannah Guthrie.
Pretty bad, pretty crazy story, and it's just basically a small town, rural, very rural. There aren't any street lights, and just a really terrible story. Whether you like Savannah Guthrie, I don't know if I don't. She really doesn't do politics anymore. So whether you like Savannah Guthrie or you don't, you can almost picture this happening in your own family, and it certainly makes you aware and uncomfortable. It's a terrible story.
And the ransom note was actually mailed to TMZ, or
Oh my
sent to
gosh.
TMZ. I don't know if it was mailed or emailed.
Ray Stagey coming up for the Weather Channel. We're going to speak with him. We have some real cold weather coming this weekend, probably the coldest of the season. Jeremy Rosenthal, the Rosenthal Report. That Au Pair affair, the Brendan Banfield story. The verdict is out. He has been found guilty, and we'll talk to. I thought it was very interesting, if you've been following any of this, that he testified on his own behalf.
I did hear that.
That was, to me, that's a sign. Well, I've got
Desperation?
nothing to lose.
Yep.
Nothing to lose. I might as well.
Or a sign of
testify.
I'm innocent and I want to tell you my story.
I didn't see it that way.
I don't know about his case, but I mean generally speaking.
Generally speaking, if you are charged, and we'll talk to Jeremy about this, but generally speaking, if you are charged with something like this, the person who is charged does not testify. Generally speaking, and maybe I'm wrong with that, but in my recollection, I guess, they normally would not, because you put yourself up against the cross-examination. You can tell your story, but as soon as you're done, the defense or the prosecution has a chance to tear you apart, whether it's right or wrong.
Well, and it's not, when you're up on the stand in your own defense, it's not just telling your truth. It's all the emotion wrapped around that.
It is. And the other part is sometimes you can't answer the question the way you want to answer
right.
it as you get stopped. It'll be interesting to talk to Jeremy about, I think, and we'll do that coming up in a few minutes. But this guy, the one thing this guy had against him is the nanny. She testified, it was his plan to kill his wife, and we were going to run off together. And she did a plea bargain and a deal,
and you know what I'd say in those instances? I'd hand her any romance novel and say, see how that works out for you.
That's exactly right. It's already been written about. Coming up also this morning, Habaika's free money question of the day. We'll get to Davey on that coming up in a second. We'll give away one final pair of Jimmy Fallon tickets this morning. And then everything is on sale Thursday, Friday, Saturday for you. But today will be the last day that we're able to give away tickets. This morning, actually tonight, Hamilton College is holding another of their series of Common Ground events. And tonight they have two former congressmen talking about government, talking about the importance or non-importance of January 6th. One is a Republican, one is a Democrat. We have Republican Matt Cartwright and Democrat Tom Rice. I believe I have that right. On this morning, We'll speak with both of them about 7:40 or so later on this morning. Ryan Nobles is also coming up from NBC. And as we said, the man, Ray Stachik, with the Weather Channel. Ray, good morning.
Hey, Bill, what's up?
Well, we have an unexpected, maybe it wasn't unexpected, but I don't know, maybe an inch of white, fluffy, very slippery snow this morning. Cars are all over the place this morning.
Yeah, and do you know most accidents occur when there's 1 or 2 inches of precip? So, it's because more people think they can get through it, and flurry snow showers, and there's even been some reports of some spotty freezing drizzle around, too. Temperatures well below 32 degrees. I'm not as frigid as it could be, but for the weekend, hold my beer, right? This could be the weekend, at least a brief shot here of the coldest air maybe we've had so far this winter.
This weekend.
So, yeah, and that could be, I think it's going to be, as we get into Saturday night, Sunday morning, that we could be looking at numbers at 10 below, 15 below, and that's even here in town. It looks like it's going to be Saturday night, Sunday morning, and that puts North Country well below zero. Places like Watertown, a little kind of, I call it the little valley there. There's a little area that gets very cold with that sinking, dense, cold air, 20-plus below without the wind chill. Now, I've been reading and I've seen, and I think we've talked about it before, Bill. The record for the states, 52 below, happened twice. Once on Stillwater, once in Old Ford. So we're not going to get that cold, but many of us will see highs. Single digits, may not make it above zero in the North Country Saturday, Sunday, and then overnight lows well below zero. So not much snow around, though, but there is some snow around this morning, scattered around a little bit more further north as you get into northern Lewis County, around Lowville and northern Herkimer County, too, but not expecting big accumulations.
I did not know that Old Forge held the record for the coldest ever in the U.S. That's wild.
Right, and, Stillwater's not too far away either on the reservoir, so... that's New York State coldest.
New York State.
New York State.
Yeah. And that's pretty crazy, 52 below zero. I can't even imagine that. I was in 48 below. I think I told that story. But,
wow.
In Old Forge, back in the probably late 80s, early 90s, almost broke the record. I mean, everything froze up. The cars and, all the cars were done. But, these days we plug them in and everything's fine and everybody goes on their merry way.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right.
I have to ask you, Ray, you said 52 below. You couldn't even imagine it, although you were in 48 below. I feel like at some point it's like with the lottery. The lottery's 1.8 billion or it's 1.9 billion. What's the difference?
The actual number's irrelevant.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
The truth is, you probably get to 20 below and you could give it's like...
It's just cold.
It's just kind of like teeth chattering. And, mercury freezes at 40 below zero. So if it's a mercury thermometer, forget it. You don't have a chance.
Wow.
So maybe that's the threshold. Once we get to 40 below, who cares, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Even Mercury doesn't care.
No, certainly not.
All right. I have two interesting, at least in my head, are interesting questions.
Okay.
Number one, as the president said last week, well, so much for global warming. How do you respond to that?
Well, there are plenty of areas across the globe, let's speak that way, that have had an at or above average winter. There's cold pockets, and, there's a long dissertation and a long story about how when it is milder, you get these dislodged placements of the polar vortex, and a lot of times they settle out over the Northeast, New England, and eastern part of the U.S., and that's what happened because up in the Arctic, it's actually been a little bit milder than normal. It was warmer in Alaska than it was in Florida at one point over the weekend. So put it this way, where it's hot somewhere, it's colder somewhere else. Where it's wet, it's dry somewhere else. It's almost like the Force, right? If you're a Star Wars fan, there's a balance of good and evil, allegedly. That's what the atmosphere is trying to do to create weather, is balance out hot, cold, wet, dry. And
we're the victims.
Right, and we're the victims here in the Northeast with this unusually cold air and the longevity of it, too. I'm just going to say this for now. Don't believe anything you're seeing about any significant warm-up in the longer term toward the middle of the month. I think there's been some chatter about that, but I've been looking, and the longer range toward Valentine's Day has actually been keeping us maybe a little bit cooler than some of the models were suggesting maybe a couple of days ago. So don't buy into it yet. I'm not saying that it's not going to change, but we're still way too far out to be talking about this big mid-month warm-up or anything. I think we will get a little more temperate, meaning it's not going to be frigid, but it's certainly not going to be in the 40s and 50s. At least it doesn't look that way right now.
And then last question is, yesterday it was one of our coldest days, by the way. I think it was Monday morning. It was like 13, 14 below zero here, which was funny. Schools closed at 8 below zero last week, but we got used to it. So 14 below, you're all going to school. Suck it up.
That's right. See, it's like 40 below. Who cares,
that's right?
Eventually.
That's right. It's all relative. So, but the question is, driving in, as I came in towards the area of Utica, which is on the canal, on the Mohawk River, I all of a sudden I ran into, I thought there was a fire. It wasn't. It was fog, dense fog, and it was 1 above zero. How does that work?
Well, what you're getting is any of the open water on the Mohawk and the colder air coming over the top of it is basically producing, it's like a fog or a mist. It's trying to basically evaporate that milder air. It's kind of how lake effect works. You got warmer water over colder water, and it creates colder air over warmer water. It's trying to create clouds. Remember, fog is a low-level stratus cloud, so it's trying to evaporate that and produce condensation, and that's what you're seeing. It's freezing on contact, too. You got freezing mist and freezing fog in some areas, too, this morning.
People don't realize it, but when we have you on, Ray, it's like going to class. It's really
five and a half years of education, but don't tell anybody that.
We won't say a word. So,
okay.
All right, Ray, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. All right.
See you, man.
Ray Stajic with the Weather Channel. He also fixes snowmobiles. I don't know if you know it. He knows his snowmobiles and does spend a lot of time up here in upstate New York in the winter time. Quick break, and we'll come back here. Take your comments. I got a bunch of them, including John, who said, it's their right to testify. I'm not questioning that it's their right to testify. What I'm questioning is if it's right to testify. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, if it's smart or not.
And we'll talk to Rosenthal coming up in a few minutes. Stand by.
The Capitol Theater in Rome will be buzzing this Saturday night. Jimmy Fallon brings his all-new Everybody Calm Down show to the Rome Capitol Theater this Saturday at 7 p.m. Great seats still available for purchase at RomeCapital.com.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, and I am coming. This is not a drill, folks. It's the real thing.
A portion of the proceeds benefit Real Men Get Tested for Cancer. Jimmy Fallon. Saturday night, 7 p.m. at the Rome Capitol Theater. Purchase tickets at the box office or at RomeCapital.com.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service. Family owned and operated since 1980, Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
Cartoon Madness is coming to the Rome Capitol Theater February 16th through the 21st at 3 p.m. daily, 3 and 7 p.m. on Saturday, February 21st. This year's theme, Looney Tunes Goes to War. 8 dozen cartoons in the Looney Tunes Merry Melody series with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and more, all made during the World War II period. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. More info at RomeCapital.com. Cartoon Madness, Looney Tunes Goes to War, February 16th through the 21st at the Rome Rome Capitol Theater.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team. Whitesboro is a leading school system in Central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and holding a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Perfect for retirees with extra time. Help drive our future leaders with Whitesboro Central School Transportation. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
The President's Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on New York State's largest selection from New York State's largest specialty bedding retailer. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Portions of the program today brought to you by New York Sash. Upstate New York winters are no joke, and neither is New York Sash. When cold snow and ice shut most companies down, their team shows up. For more than 36 years, New York Sash has installed windows, doors, and bath remodels all across central and upstate New York, even in freezing temperatures. If it's safe to work, they work. They don't cancel for weather. Every job is done one opening at a time to keep the heat in. So it could be very, very cold, and they're still installing windows, and they do it very well and very quickly. All backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can learn more about that and their Upstate Tough promise at upstatetoughny.com. And here's something just for all of us here right now. Schedule your free, no obligation consultation. Mention that I hate to do these. Well, just say, what will we say? Just say something like that.
Keeler?
That piece of garbage on the radio just was telling everybody that we should call you guys.
What is it? You got to put a code in?
You know what I do? I would say
a referral code.
I would say Keeler said that if I came over and looked at the windows and the doors, you'd give me a free Hershey bar. That's what I'd say.
Okay.
All right. You say that. Call New York Sash today, 349 Oriskany Boulevard, Whitesboro, or online at newyorksash.com. I was telling them I hate to do it because it sounds like tell them Hank sent you. I'm not doing that.
You know,
tell them you want a chocolate bar. We said if you go to New York Sash right now and you look at their windows and baths.
How about a half moon?
Only a chocolate bar, and you could get one with almonds. Those are pretty good too.
Use code TDS, which could be touchdowns for this
Could be
weekend's Super
anything.
Bowl.
Could
or
be
it could
anything.
be Trump derangement or Trump delusional syndrome, as you've described.
Nick says, good morning, Bill. Good morning, Nick. John said it's their right to testify. We understand that, right? I already went over that. But we will talk to Jeremy Rosenthal on it. You have some other comments?
Conservative John.
I like this. Yeah.
Who you refer to as Johnny Molasses, I call Slow Joe. Either way, same.
Effing something or other.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. Like, if you have to drive 30 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone,
maybe you shouldn't be driving.
You shouldn't be driving. And this is I'm going to be the guy that's like, no, I'm able to drive. Yes, I'm 85, 95. Yes, I'm 98 years old, but I can drive just as good as I could.
It's the other side of that coin. Like most people think if you're a traffic hazard, you're going too fast.
Correct.
But you can be the traffic hazard because you're driving too slow.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, that is very true, I think. Because you're causing everybody to go nuts. Like, come
or trying to accommodate.
Yeah. It's terrible. And it's the same person, Johnny, what did I call him? Johnny Molasses.
Johnny Molasses.
Or Slow Joe.
Well, I got to admit, coming in this
person.
morning, I was a little nervous to do what I normally do on 49. So I got off.
It was slick.
I got off a couple of exits earlier than I normally do because I knew the side street would let me go slower.
Right. Versus the cars who don't want you to. Yeah.
Right.
What else do I have today? I mentioned Ryan. Oh, and Becky Martinuk is coming in. She has an unbelievable salsa, and it's Super Bowl time. So she's going to bring in some of her, and she has some new salsa. So do you have that salsa down there? She should be at the market with you
we
guys.
We actually have somebody new coming in at some point this winter who does have salsa.
All right. Maybe this is her.
It might be her, yeah.
You'll get to try it. It's really,
I
really good.
apologize. I don't remember the person's name.
Quick break. We have news coming right up. Hold on.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Beyond.
From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Is Nancy Guthrie being held for ransom? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is now a big part of the investigation, searching for the mother of the Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie, missing since Saturday night.
We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at.
Pima County, Arizona Sheriff Chris Nano says evidence suggests the 84-year-old may have been harmed.
TMZ and a handful of local news stations say that they have received what they are calling ransom notes, and they received those via email. The note, they say, demanded millions in cryptocurrency for the safe return of Nancy Guthrie by a stated deadline. They report the note contained specific information about the crime scene and Nancy that is not known to the public.
Fox's Alicia Cunha outside the home in Tucson. It's sentencing day for the man convicted in the second Trump assassination attempt.
Ryan Ruth was convicted in September of planning to kill Donald Trump at his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida on September 15th, 2024. He represented himself at trial and tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen in court when he was found guilty. Prosecutors say Ruth spent weeks planning the assassination attempt, aiming a rifle through shrubbery. A Secret Service agent spotted Ruth before Trump came into view. The agent fired shots. Ruth ran and was caught.
Fox's Chris Foster. Ruth could get life in prison. President Trump says the talks are still on with Iran Friday with his special envoy Steve Witkoff trying to rein in Iran's nuclear program, despite the added tension of the U.S. shooting down an Iranian drone near an American Navy ship.
They are negotiating. They'd like to do something, and we'll see if something is going to be done.
He has threatened to take action like last year when the U.S. joined Israel attacking Iran's nuclear facilities. The partial government shutdown's over after the president signed the funding bill Congress approved that only gives Homeland Security 2 weeks' worth as Democrats demand immigration enforcement reform. Here's Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
We expect to present to the Republicans a very serious, detailed proposal very shortly.
This follows the angry anti-ICE protests in Minneapolis following recent deadly shootings. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can slow it down and get it going slower. Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
President Trump continues to claim that he won the 2020 election, that he lost to President Biden, alleging fraud in state counting. The president wants Congress to take action.
The federal government should get involved. These are agents of the federal government to count the votes.
Democrats warn that's a threat to democracy and future elections. Also at the White House, a meeting a month after the raid in Venezuela that captured leader Nicolas Maduro.
President Trump says he and Colombian President Gustavo Petro got along very well.
He and I weren't exactly the best of friends, but I wasn't insulted because I never met him. I didn't know him at all.
President Trump says the two leaders are working on an agreement to join forces on counter-narcotic efforts. Last year, the Trump administration leveled sanctions on Petro's family, the president accusing Colombia's leader of drug trafficking. Petro says the two also talked about exporting Venezuelan gas and says he added an S to a MAGA cap gifted to him by President Trump to make the Americas great again. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after selling for the Dow and the NASDAQ. Let the games begin. The Winter Olympics start in a few hours in Italy with curling matches. The opening ceremony will be Friday. Some NBA players are changing teams and trades ahead of tomorrow's deadline, and this is getting the most attention.
The James Harden era in Los Angeles has come to a close. According to multiple reports, Harden is headed back to the Eastern Conference, with the Clippers sending the 11-time All-Star to the Cavaliers for point guard Darius Garland. Harden is in the middle of a very solid season, scoring 25.4 points per game, which would be his highest average in 6 years, but he continues to not stay in one place for too long. Cleveland will be Harden's 6th NBA team and his 4th since leaving Houston during the 2020-2021 season. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
Also in the NBA, the New York Knicks won their 7th straight game, blowing out Washington 132-101. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies and 16 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. An Oneida County judge resigns from his job after an investigation by the Commission on Judicial Conduct. Daniel Fernie, who was a justice in Town of Lee Court, allegedly drove with a suspended license and invoked his judicial title when he was stopped by police. Fernie was supposed to testify yesterday, but wound up stepping down and promising to never accept a judicial office in the future. His current term would have ended in 2029. Rome police looking for the driver involved in a hit-and-run accident involving a pedestrian. It happened yesterday morning just after 11:30. A woman was struck by a dark-colored Ford SUV which was traveling east on West Court Street. The suspect vehicle then left the scene toward North Madison Street. Police say the victim had to be transported by Mercy Flight to a trauma center for evaluation and treatment. She is currently in critical but stable condition. Rome police asking for anyone's help identifying the suspect vehicle involved in the incident. You can also call Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. In the city of Syracuse, the state attorney general's office is looking into a fatal crash that left one dead. A driver was behind the wheel of a stolen minivan on Avery Avenue yesterday and refused to pull over for police. Onondaga County deputies began a pursuit which ended when the driver lost control and slammed into a telephone pole on Erie Boulevard West. The driver, whose name has not yet been released, was killed in that crash. His female passenger suffered only minor injuries, but was ejected from the vehicle. Herkimer police have a new chief, Captain Rich Bowman, appointed to chief after serving as interim chief since September. He's been with the department for more than 16 years. And a new poll shows there are a lot of New Yorkers with a high opinion of current Governor Kathy Hochul. According to the Siena Research Institute, 49% of registered voters surveyed viewed the governor favorably, which is the first time she's reached that mark since taking office in 2021. When it comes to a potential head-to-head against Republican Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, Hochul leads by 26 points. The governor's job approval rating is sitting currently at 54%. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time is 7:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Not really seeing much accumulating snowfall next couple of days. Scattered snow showers around today and tonight, potentially tomorrow, but many of those in the North Country. Partial sunshine through this morning and this afternoon. Low 20s. Down near a cold 10 tonight. To the north, obviously colder. Partly sunny 20 tomorrow. Then here comes the Arctic front. Mid-20s Friday, some snow showers. A little bit of snow Friday night. 0. North Country well below 0. We'll have numbers below 0 over the weekend at night. Maybe some single-digit highs. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies and 16 degrees at 7:09. All right, in sports, did you watch the Pro Bowl?
Oh, what's that? Oh, we had a big party last night. Had everybody over. Everybody had to wear flags on their hips. And we would, pull the flags and stuff, tackle them into the couch and stuff. We had a blast. So you had a Pro Bowl? Chips everywhere. Yeah. Chips, because you're tackling people in the living room. You're going to tip over the chips. But we had a great party.
You had a Pro Bowl. You're pulling flags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the final was 66-52.
Oh, yes.
I think we've said enough. The Giants have a new offensive coordinator. ESPN says the G-Men are hiring Matt Nagy. Nagy has been the OC for the Kansas City Chiefs for each of the past 3 seasons. Prior to that, he spent time as head coach of the Chicago Bears. Giants head coach John Harbaugh chose Nagy after former Baltimore OC Todd Monken was hired as the Browns' new head coach. Let's see here. The Falcons not committing to Michael Penix Jr. as their starting quarterback. He's recovering from a torn ACL. Veteran Kirk Cousins finished out the season going 5-3. Team president Matt Ryan said new head coach Kevin Stefanski will have the final decision there. Robert Kraft overlooked in his first year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame. Kraft was a first-time Hall of Fame finalist this year, but did not receive enough votes to be included in the class of 2026. He was a finalist alongside former head coach Bill Belichick and players Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, and L.C. Greenwood. The official announcement will be made Thursday night at the NFL Honors in San Francisco.
He's been looked over.
He's been looked over.
A little different than being worked over at the massage parlor.
Is that what I said? Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I bet that plays a little bit of a role, maybe. Something.
The Clippers trading James Harden. He goes to the Cavaliers in exchange for Darius Garland and a second-round pick. The Knicks won again last night, their 7th straight. They beat the Wizards 132-101, and the Nets lost again last night, getting crushed by the Lakers 125-109. The Utica Comets are playing tonight. They are on the road at the Laval Rocket. The Comets will come home for 2 games this weekend, Friday and Saturday nights. My eyes are going. A 7 o'clock start on Friday, 6 o'clock on Saturday as they host Bridgeport and Rochester, respectively. Don't forget, the Comets are home this weekend as well, but their game, I believe, will be moved to the Nexus Center. Right? We talked about that last week.
No, that was the Pioneers game.
Yeah. No, the Comets are home for 2 this weekend.
Comets are home. The Pioneers.
If I said that wrong, I apologize.
Well, maybe you didn't. I might not be comprehending right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
You heard that yesterday. You saw that Lindsey Vonn got in. The Olympics are starting. So last night I watched.
I should have mentioned that. You're right.
Last night I watched the Miracle on Ice, the 1980 Olympics, and I don't know. I hate rehashing stuff like that. Like I could watch old World War II stuff, and that seems different to me than history that I remember. Right? I remember being able to one interesting note on the Miracle on Ice, the U.S. versus Russia Olympic hockey game. That was a 5 p.m. game, and it was not broadcast on television. It was later. It was tape delayed. They were going to play it at night because 3 weeks before, or like 12, 13 days, it would be 2 weeks before, the U.S. played an exhibition game with the Soviet Union and lost like 13-2. So everybody expected the Soviets to just pounce in this game, but the U.S. had made it into the medal round. So they're thinking maybe a bronze, maybe if they're lucky, but they'll never get past the Russians. But I remember there was a scroll because the Olympics were on ABC. It was on WTR. There was a scroll that came across the bottom that said, the United States has defeated USSR in hockey. And that was just I remember seeing it.
I remember watching it.
And then later in the evening, they played the game. And then the U.S. would then play Finland for the gold. But if you get a chance to watch that documentary, it's really good. Anyway, the Olympics start tomorrow. Lindsey Vonn says she will compete. Now, she has a torn ACL. Is she keeping somebody else off the team is this a selfish move by her? Or after she does her trial run today or tomorrow, could she still pull out? And by the way, I think the games start Friday.
Games actually start tonight.
They do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the opening ceremony is Friday. It's a little odd.
Curling starts today.
Curling, there's some skiing competition and maybe a basketball game or something.
Opening ceremonies are Friday.
Here is Lindsey Vonn talking about competing after the injury.
I completely ruptured my ACL. I also have bone bruising plus meniscal damage, which we're not sure if that was pre-existing or from the crash. I know what my chances were before the crash, and I know my chances aren't the same as it stands today, but I know there's still a chance. And as long as there's a chance, I will try.
All right. What do you think?
I think that at this point, I mean, come on, you guys.
She should bow out.
She should bow out. I mean, Jeff was just talking about an NFL player that's out for the season because of an ACL damage. I mean, she's going to do permanent damage to herself.
Yeah.
And I think she's going more for I'm 41. Nobody thought I could qualify to come back.
Here I am.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
More over what's best for the team.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. Today, The Muppet Show returns. It returns to a streaming series on Disney+. Guest star Sabrina Carpenter, and that's on tonight if you care about it. And did anybody, you don't have this in your news, but it's a very interesting story. Anybody see that former First Lady Jill Biden's ex-husband
I wanted to talk about this.
Now been charged with murdering his wife.
Yes. So
meanwhile, if you remember, like 3 years ago, when Biden was either running or in office, he was all over like Fox News and anybody that would listen to him, really talking about how horrible Jill Biden is. And one point he's like, listen, during that trial, our divorce, she said horrible things about me. Says that happens in every divorce. I'm not defending her by any means. I think her biggest crime was allowing her husband to run for re-election, but we won't go there. But he's ripping. She is a horrible person. She is just a terrible woman. Well, his credibility.
Yeah, don't look in the mirror, dude.
Yeah, now he's charged. Now, again, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? And maybe he will testify on his own behalf. You never know, but he's charged with murder.
Can I get your reaction to this story? Lance brings it up. I hit it in the news at the top of the hour. Good morning, Lance. Lance says 54% approval rating for the governor. You show me 1 out of 2 people that think she is doing a good job. I call fake news on that poll. Billy Lemon must have slipped that into your news
Well,
feed.
listen, we call it William accuracy, Lance. Something you're not you wouldn't understand. The fact is, when you go to the cities, if you're in Buffalo, if you're in Rochester, Syracuse, or even in the city of Utica, Albany, where there are a lot of Democrats and a lot of progressives, New York City. I was having a conversation with someone last time we were in the city about how bad Kathy Hochul is, and literally there were like 3 people at the table who were like, I think she's doing a tremendous job. I mean, this is a woman who is the first female governor. I mean, I got schooled. And I'm like, well, it isn't like that upstate. We don't see it that way upstate. And, of course, yeah, because you're all rednecks, was the response. And we laughed, and I had another vodka. But the down, I'm telling you, if you took a poll in the Mohawk Valley or in upstate New York, if the poll in upstate New York is, what do you think of Kathy Hochul, it would be very negative. But if you add the cities, it's a different world. And that's why
the cities, the 5 boroughs more so.
More
right?
than anything else. But still, in Buffalo, let's remember what she did in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. That stadium is because she pushed it. So in Buffalo, they just think she's the cat's meow, and she's from Rochester. So that's where you're getting all of these numbers from. Davey, you want to add something?
54% approval rating, though. That's
That's
very good.
It tells you
whether I agree or not.
What are the numbers in New York? The numbers of Democrats and even independents who lean left. The numbers are it almost makes it impossible for right now, under the current climate, for a Republican to knock her off.
Well, we're going to have the Siena research on Friday at 7:20 to discuss.
That'll be
this
good
poll.
Conversation with them.
Steve Greenberg.
Okay.
One more thing. Carlos Beltran decides he will go to the Hall of Fame wearing what hat?
Ooh, I know.
It's not going to be the Mets. It is the Mets.
It is the Mets.
I love it.
You know the pose he's going to take for the bust?
Is it the
standing there looking at strike 3 in Game 7 of the 2006 NLCS?
Well, that was an awful moment. But
I hate to say it. It's so negative. Obviously, Hall of Famer. I mean, that's what we're talking about. He's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. One of the greatest hitters of all time. One of the prettiest swings of all time. And all me and many other Mets fans can think about is him not swinging the bat in the biggest.
Think of the amazing career that Billy Buckner had.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't a Hall of Famer, though.
What does everybody remember him for, though?
Yeah, the ball through the legs.
Or the, what was the kicker for the Buffalo Bills? Bills-Giants. Wide right.
Scott Norwood.
Scott Norwood.
And if you ask him,
wide.
And if you ask him to sign it on a pitcher, he won't do it.
He won't.
Because when you go up, there's a pitcher. A note, he will not sign anything says wide right.
Yeah, honestly, because he was an amazing kicker, and he's remembered for that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Horrible moment.
Please break.
Got a break. Did you say please break? You're killing me. Hold tight, 720 at WIBX.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Embarrassed by ugly yellow toe fungus?
Living with toe fungus it's embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off. I hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody.
Introducing Crystal Flush. Crystal Flush is the only FDA-registered 2-in-1 home treatment that attacks your toe fungus from both the inside and out. Crystal Flush's new and different combination system knocks out toe fungus for good. Guaranteed.
Crystal Flush is different. After just a few weeks, my fungus was gone. 100% disappeared. Crystal Flush was the only thing that ever worked. So if you're skeptical because you tried a bunch of other stuff, Crystal Flush is different. This is a game changer.
Crystal Flush is now available without a prescription, but it is not available in stores. Get your risk-free supply today. Go to crystalflush.com. That's CRYSTAL flush.com. Stop being embarrassed by ugly yellow toenails. Go to crystalflush.com or call 800-204-4484.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Frozen pipes? That's an emergency. Call Drain Masters now, 315-363-7802. Drain Masters has a full team of professionals ready to help you right now. Homes, businesses, mobile homes, trailers, frozen pipes, or clogged drains. Drain Masters is on it. No water? Pipes freezing? Drains backing up? Call Drain Masters now, 315-363-7802. Don't wait for a burst pipe or flooding. Frozen pipes, clogged drains, Drain Masters, 315-363-7802.
It's the best tailgate party of the season this Sunday at Waterfront Grill Herkimer. A full tailgate buffet, drinks, multiple TVs, plus Giants tickets, Buffalo Bills tickets to give away. $30 tickets benefit the Great American Hard Run and Walk, Little Falls Hospital, Herkimer County Humane Society, and Real Men get tested for cancer. The best pre-Super Bowl tailgate party of the season this Sunday, 11:30 till 3:30, Waterfront Grill Herkimer from WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
And portions of today's program brought to you by Steve Punny Mazda. Their New Year, New Mazda sales event is back and underway. Save on a new Mazda lease. And here are the deals. It's really incredible. 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-5s, 0.9% on turbo models, 0.9% on 2025 Mazda CX-50s, 1.9% on hybrids, and 2.9% on the new 2025 Mazda CX-30. See Rick or anybody at the dealership for details. I have the CX90, which is hybrid, plug-in, and you plug it in ready and at your house. And I have not seen any change in our electric bill doing it that way. And it's, I don't put gas in a lot. I like that. Let's make your deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Time now for the one and only Jeremy Rosenthal. It's time for the Rosenthal Report. I swear. Here's Jeremy Rosenthal with us right now. Jeremy, good morning.
Kaboom. Good morning. How are you?
Kaboom. Kaboom. So I thought we could talk about this this Virginia case where the former IRS guy, Brandon Banfield, was charged with killing his wife along with the au pair. They kind of went in cahoots, and he was going to run off with her, supposedly, and she cuts a deal and says, oh, yeah, he had a plan, and he says it's totally not true, and he decided to testify. I'd like your take on it. We had said it's, or at least I did, it's not common, less common for a murder suspect to testify on their own behalf unless they have nothing at all to lose. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. The psychology of testifying in your own defense is a pretty interesting one. Some people testify in their own defense because they're sociopaths. Because it's like the James Bond villain sort of thing. It's like I've got to tell you.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I can win every argument. I can win. I can convince anyone.
Yeah, right. And it's like you shouldn't have been working for the IRS. You should have practiced law like every other sociopath, right? I mean, that's what should have happened here. But look, sometimes it's a Hail Mary, yes. Sometimes you have to set up a defense. Like so think of trial like a mosaic. And what happens is the prosecutor is the one that dumps all the pieces into the middle, and then both parties sort of say, well, here's the picture. No, here's the picture. You never have to dump your own tiles into the mosaic as the defense. And when you are testifying in your own defense, that's what you're doing. Now, sometimes if you have to set up self-defense, you got to take the stand. And the law almost in most instances requires that the defendant get up and it's you're getting up and you're saying, I did this. You have to admit to the harm or the action.
I see, yeah.
But here's my justification. So a lot of times that's why you see somebody testify, and that may be why he testified here. His lawyer says, no, we wanted to set this straight. But, I mean, he was saying this was self-defense. He was saying that and for those of you who don't keep up with the salaciousness, this case has it all. It's pretty awesome if you're a true crime person. So IRS agent, that's neither here nor there. The guy has an au pair, has an affair with her. The wife, to get rid of her, they create a fake account on a fetish site for her. They get on her computer and they invite some random guy from this fetish site for a rape fantasy to come over. And then the husband, quote unquote, catches them in the act, catches him trying to hurt her, and then he kills them both. And the au pair flipped and said, no, I never heard of this guy, right? This is all his idea and all that stuff. And, oh, by the way, I'm walking out the back door of the jail, and I'm done with this. So
yes.
That was part of it.
Well, it is. I also thought it was very interesting. It seems like most people kind of thought he was, and maybe my interpretation of this is not correct, but kind of thought he was guilty in the very beginning. Even at the emergency room at the hospital, the way and there was video of the way they told him that his wife was dead. I mean, they just came out and said, I'm sorry, your wife is dead. Almost as if they kind of had some suspicion very, very early in the case. Did you feel that way, or is there any evidence to show that?
you do get a lot of, and as a defense lawyer, you sort of kind of sharpen your knives.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun on these deals. Because how's a guilty person supposed to act?
Right.
How are you supposed to act when you get this kind of news? And not only that, I've seen cases where, we get interviewed by 14 different police at 14 different times, and police officer number 12 says, "You're acting funny," and then boom, the narrative sort of spreads like wildfire. So that part is a little more subjective to me.
Because everybody acts differently.
Yeah. I mean, right. And not only that, I mean, you're also, again, how are you supposed to respond to the fourth officer who asks you the identical questions?
Right. Yeah.
That's a hard thing.
Really interesting case, but now he's been found guilty, and it didn't help that the au pair really just completely ratted him out for a deal. So away he goes. It's all done. And just think, this guy is the guy that was like, "Yep, you owe money." Now he's no longer doing that job. So.
Well, I will refrain from comment there.
That's funny.
I don't know that the guy gets a lot of sympathy from in jury selection. I'm asking the jury, okay, folks, anybody just automatically hate us?
Yeah. Which is certainly unfair. But here's a guy though that's just. The worst of the worst. I mean, how could you do this? And what a plan. Thought he had it all worked out, and turns out he didn't. So, interesting stuff,
Yes,
Jeremy.
sir.
We appreciate it as always. We'll do it again real soon. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Jeremy Rosenthal with the Rosenthal Report. Crazy, right?
It is a crazy story.
I mean, how do you come up with the idea? It's like, I'm gonna order a fetish person to come to the house, and he's going to think that this is what happened, according to the jury. He's going to think that I'm in on it, and my wife is in on it, and he's going to come into the bedroom and sneak in, and then I'm going to come in with a gun and catch him because he thinks that's all part of the act. And then I'm either going to shoot or stab him, and then I believe that he stabbed his wife. And then I'm going to claim that it's the intruder that did it. How do you not realize that there's evidence all over this of you ordering the guy to come to the house? It's just all very, very crazy and nuts.
Yeah.
Davey, this morning's free money question of the day. We will, it'll be our last chance at giving away a pair of Jimmy Fallon tickets for the weekend, for Saturday night at the Rome Capitol, for the Hobica Law Firm Money Part. What are we looking at here this morning? $200. So it's $200 and Jimmy Fallon tickets. We'll do that coming up after news, which is next to WIBX.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
Whistle and the world will be. They've been a driving force in roots music for nearly 3 decades, and they're coming to the Stanley Theater in Utica. Yonder Mountain String Band takes the stage on Thursday, February 5th at 8 p.m. They're kicking off a new chapter with their new album, Nowhere Next, the follow-up to their Grammy-nominated Get Yourself Outside, featuring Utica area native Nick Piccinini. Yonder Mountain String Band at the Stanley Theater, February 5th at 8 p.m. For tickets, go to thestanley.org, Ticketmaster.com, or call 315-724-4000.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Still cloudy skies, 16 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:35. This news update is brought to you by Stewart's Shops. Stewart's Egg Witch, the big breakfast sandwich that's big on value. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, and savory bacon, sausage, or ham starting at $4.59, only at Stewart's Shops. President Trump wants the country to turn its attention away from the Jeffrey Epstein files. Trump telling reporters in the Oval Office on Tuesday that it was time for the country to, quote, get on to something else, end quote, and claimed that the millions of documents recently released clear him of any wrongdoing. Authorities are following new leads in the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother. The 84-year-old mother of the Today host went missing on Sunday after officials said she was abducted from her home in Tucson. The Pima County Sheriff says they are pursuing multiple leads, but could not provide further details. Renee Good's brothers are calling for changes in federal immigration enforcement. Luke and Brent Ganger appeared on Capitol Hill Tuesday at a hearing on the disproportionate use of force by DHS agents. The hearing was led by Senator Richard Blumenthal, who said he will not support another dime for DHS unless there is, in his words, quote, a rebuild. An Israeli-American couple who were held hostage by Hamas will be at the White House today, meeting with First Lady Melania Trump. Keith and Aviva Siegel were captured during the Hamas attack on Israel in October of 2023. The Siegels met with President Trump last year. A West Virginia National Guard member who was allegedly shot by an Afghan national in Washington, D.C. last year says he is grateful to be alive. Andrew Wolf thanked people on Facebook Tuesday for their prayers and support. The alleged shooter, a 29-year-old Afghan national, is set to be arraigned in court later today. And Bill, some events in the 2026 Winter Olympics will get a head start today. The opening ceremonies for the Winter Games in Milan, Italy aren't until Friday, but again, the first events begin today at the Milano Cortina Games, including the alpine ski training, luge training, and curling. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:37. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Not really seeing much accumulating snowfall next couple of days. Scattered snow showers around today and tonight, potentially tomorrow, but many of those in the North Country. Partial sunshine through this morning and this afternoon. Low 20s. Down near a cold 10 tonight. To the north, obviously colder. Partly sunny 20 tomorrow. Then here comes the Arctic front. Mid-20s Friday, some snow showers. A little bit of snow Friday night. 0. North Country well below 0. We'll have numbers below 0 over the weekend at night. Maybe some single-digit highs. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy and 16 at 7:38.
All right, Davey, we're looking for caller number what here? Good for $200 and a pair of Jimmy Fallon tickets. You are looking for caller number...
Caller 4.
Caller 4, 315-736-0186. Caller 4 right now. Your chance to win from WIBX and the Hobica Law Firm.
Cartoon Madness is coming to the Rome Capitol Theater February 16th through the 21st at 3 p.m. daily, 3 and 7 p.m. on Saturday, February 21st. This year's theme, Looney Tunes Goes to War. 8 dozen cartoons in the Looney Tunes Merry Melody series with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and more, all made during the World War II period. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. More info at RomeCapitol.com. Cartoon Madness, Looney Tunes Goes to War, February 16th through the 21st at the Rome Capitol Theater.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, here we go, and it's time for Hobica's Free Money Question of the Day, which could also lead to Jimmy Fallon tickets for Saturday night at the Rome Capitol Theater. And let's see, on the line right now we have Jerry in East Herkimer. Hello, Jerry. Good morning in East Herkimer.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. How you doing? How are things in the big city of East Herkimer?
Well, it's cool.
It is cool. Yeah, it's going to be really cool this weekend. So be ready for that. Probably the coldest weather we've had all winter long. This weekend. All right, listen. This will get you Jimmy Fallon tickets, but also $200 from the Hobica Law Firm if you can get it right within 7 seconds. Are you ready to go?
I'm gonna try.
All righty. Hold on, I'm getting there. All right, here is your question. Which iconic Utica store that opened in 1918 got an enormous upgrade, a huge upgrade in 1941, just before World War II? Ready, go.
Woolworths.
Was it Woolworths? Definitely an iconic store. But the enormous upgrade happened when they moved across the street. They were in Franklin Square, moved across the street, I believe 131 Genesee. The big, enormous Boston store.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Well, listen, but I got to say it's my last pair. I can give you one more quickie, okay? If you can get this right. We're going to give you the Jimmy Fallon tickets, okay?
Okay.
All right, here is.
Are you going to go if you win them?
Can you?
Probably not.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for playing.
Then I'm going to give you movie passes. I've got movie passes to Glenwood Movieplex and Rome Cinema 8. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, okay, Jerry?
Thank you very much.
You wanted the dough. Yeah, he wanted the money. I don't blame him. All right, stand by. Take the money, they say. Davey, Jerry is all yours. He wins the movie passes and all of that. Hamilton College does, and I've been to a few of these they're really so incredible and to me important because they pit a panel of one side and the other to be able to talk about important issues. And their Common Ground program is what it's called.
It's like a celebrity roast, right? They get really nasty and mean toward each other.
No, it's
not.
So it was
nothing like that, actually.
One that always comes to mind for me was Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah, the two Rices.
And Susan Rice.
Yes.
And I didn't realize, but Susan Rice was a student in college of Condoleezza Rice. But they couldn't have been on more of a different platform when it came to policy. For instance, Condoleezza Rice thought the Obama deal with Iran, the nuclear deal, was not a good deal, and the two of them went out. It's just very interesting but what I find, how cordial they were with each other.
Yeah, it's a civil discussion,
and probably went out for a cocktail afterwards, right? That's the civility. Is it possible? And tonight, it's former U.S. Representative and Hamilton alum Matt Cartwright, who's a Democrat, and former U.S. Congressperson Tom Rice, who is a Republican. Mr. Cartwright from Pennsylvania, Mr. Rice, South Carolina. And the topic is about the Capitol under assault. Two former congressmen reflect on January the 6th. And I do want to bring them both in right now. Let's start with Congressman Cartwright. Good morning.
Well, Keeler, good morning. And I'm happy to say we're bringing another civil rights to College Hill.
Okay, I like it. I like that a lot. And Congressman Rice, good morning.
Good morning. I'm glad to be with you, and I must say that that the other Rices you mentioned are far more knowledgeable and esteemed than I will ever be.
Well, that was, I'm sure this will be unbelievably compelling, but what a great program to be able to bring someone from both sides, and this is what they do, to talk about things that are happening. This is a very polarizing issue, as you both know, what happened on January 6th. The president has certainly downplayed it and, in fact, pardoned many of those who were, he says, wrongfully arrested after January 6th. I'll start with you, Congressman Cartwright. Your thoughts on that and what happened on January 6th?
Well, first of all, thank you for highlighting this program. This is something put together by Brigadier General Ty Sedgley, who was the chair of the history department at West Point for decades.
Wow.
And he retired, and Hamilton was smart enough to snap him up as a visiting professor. We have a wonderful new president at Hamilton, Stephen Tepper, who's an amazing intellect and terrific personality. Tonight, we're going to have Tom and I, we're going to speak in the chapel starting at 7 o'clock. Public's invited. And the moderator will be Utica University professor David Shinatry, who taught journalism at Utica for over 20 years.
Yeah.
We're going to have a discussion about the insurrection.
He also worked for NBC for years as well. Congressman Rice, good morning.
Yeah, tonight's event is going to be a 10-round event, 3 minutes per round.
Okay, I like it.
I negotiated it down from 15 because I'm older now, and I don't think I can outlast Matt.
I love it. And again, this is the opportunity where he'll conduct the forum. I'm assuming there's some student questions as well. What a great opportunity for students at Hamilton here to see just how government it really works and is supposed to work. I don't know, Tom Rice, your thoughts on what happened January 6th?
I think it is a stain on our democracy, and the idea that the president would pardon those folks and at the same time say he supports law enforcement just shows how hypocritical he is. The fact that he sat in the White House that day for hours and watched police being beaten and killed, and then as soon as he has a chance, pardons all the individuals involved. I don't know how he can face the police.
Congressman Cartwright.
Tom is right. That was a violent day. It looked like a medieval battle scene out there on the plaza on the east side of the Capitol, on both sides of the Capitol. Over 170 Capitol police were injured that day. One died after having a stroke his name was Brian Sicknick. And within 6 months, another 4 had committed suicide from the trauma that they had experienced. This was a serious thing, and Tom's right. Trump pardoned over 1,000 people who were properly convicted, and most of whom pled guilty to the crimes that they committed. We're all scratching our heads, right, thinking Americans are wondering, why would you pardon these people who perpetrated the first attack on the American Capitol since the War of 1812?
I would say, Congressman Cartwright, a little easier for you to make the statement as a Democrat because, the thoughts are we're also very political. But for Tom Rice, Republican congressman, not so easy today. And I don't think it's easy for most Republicans to criticize right now.
Well, let me jump in on that, Keeler. The truth is that you're right. for Tom Rice to vote to impeach President Trump over the insurrection was an act of unparalleled political courage. You know, the police were out there demonstrating physical courage, but Tom demonstrated political courage by standing up and doing the right thing. Now, you have to understand, he is a conservative Republican. Tom, there's a very small slice of the pie that Tom and I agree on politically, but I've always known him to be a gentleman, to be a decent person, and he can explain his own reaction to that insurrection and Trump's response to it. But I couldn't be prouder to bring a man like Tom Rice to College Hill and show him off at my alma mater, Hamilton College.
Congressman Rice.
Well, I am a conservative, and I always have been. And if you look at my voting record, it's among the most conservative in Congress. I was certainly in the top 10 or 15% in terms of my ratings as a conservative in Congress. And I knew that day when the impeachment vote was called that I would suffer political consequences for voting to impeach the president. And I didn't think I had a choice. I mean, when it came down to it, when you go to Congress, you take an oath. And there's not really much in that oath other than I will protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And it's the most important reason that we're there. And any conservative, that would be, even without the oath, that would be the number one reason you would be there, because the Constitution is the basis. It's the foundation of our freedoms. It's what holds the government back, restrains the government from, impinging on particularly the items listed in the Bill of Rights. So that was the conservative vote to uphold the Constitution.
Yeah.
And I knew I would suffer political consequences, and I did. I lost 75% to 25% in the Republican primary. So, I suffered swift political consequences because my district is very Trump supportive, and certainly lost, support and lost friends over it. But I had no choice. If the vote is called and I'm called on to whether or not I'm going to defend the Constitution, I will do the right thing. And I'm extremely disappointed in a lot of my conservative friends who chose to look the other way. And for example, when the battle was on and the protesters were at the door of the House of Representatives, banging on the door and breaking glass, and we were about to be face to face with them if the Capitol Police hadn't gotten us out of there. And they were scurrying around afraid and putting on their gas mask to run out of the building. And then 10 days later, when the impeachment vote came up to say that was no big deal and that the president doesn't deserve to be impeached over that, is just ludicrous, in my opinion. I don't know how in the world they can justify it, and they know.
Yeah.
They know.
I was going to ask, can you talk about your experience on that day? Were you in the Capitol at the time, and what was your experience?
Both of you were, right?
Matt, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Yeah, I was there. They gave me the honor of delivering the closing argument for the Pennsylvania delegation in supporting in approving the Electoral College votes for President Biden that day. I was not able to give a speech because we got evacuated. And Tom and I were both on the floor. He actually took some video of the events, but we got evacuated, and it was weird. I had a reporter call me maybe 6 months later. He was doing a timeline about the events of the day, and he said, "What time did you get evacuated?" And I said, "Well, it was about, 2:45, something like that." But then I realized I took a picture on the way out of the speaker's lobby, which was loaded up with furniture up against the door. It was crazy. And, when you take a picture on your cell phone, it records the time. So I looked at the time, and I compared that to the reporter's timeline. And I had passed through the speaker's lobby 1 minute before the lady was shot who was trying to break through the window into the chamber.
Yeah.
And Tom remembers that too.
Tom, yeah, go ahead, Tom.
That's true. I mean, that morning I lived about a block and a half from the Capitol, and I was not awakened, but I was stirred from my apartment. It's still, during COVID times, and we were supposed to be separate, so nobody was rushing to the floor. And the fire alarm in my apartment building went off, and I walked outside, and there were, hundreds of police officers and firemen there, and they said that there was a bomb near my building. My building happened to be just across the alley from the Republican National headquarters. And so somebody put a pipe bomb out there. Well, that had never happened. I'd been in Congress for 8 years at that point.
Yeah.
And then I walked over to the Capitol and got in there. And, shortly after the debate started, I'd walked through crowds getting there, but they were just kind of milling around at that point. And Trump was still giving his speech. And then when we got there, it escalated quickly to the point that the sergeant at arms would come in and say, "There's folks that are threatening to breach the Capitol, and we need to be prepared to act if that happens. But go ahead and continue with debate." And then they'd come in 10 minutes later and say, "Well, they have breached the Capitol, and there's tear gas been deployed in the rotunda, and we're going to have to move here pretty quickly." And then they'd leave, and there were the chaplain came up and was praying on the dais, and they told us to take out our emergency kits. Hell, I knew there was an emergency kit there, but I'd never looked at it or even considered it. Never thought I would have to. And here were some of these folks who were supposedly I always remember Matt Gaetz. God, Matt Gaetz pulling out his emergency kit and grabbing his hood. I took a little 30-second video, just swept it across the floor because it was such an unusual sight of all these folks who, pulling out these kits and putting hoods over their heads, and a week later voting not to impeach the president over it, like it was no big deal, And our Constitution has a separation of powers in it, and the executive branch is weaker than the legislative branch. The legislative branch is supposed to make laws and fund the things the executive doesn't. He only enforces the law. And for the executive branch to be able to send a mob down to the Congress and say, like he was like a mafia don, if you don't vote the way that I want you to vote, I'm gonna bloody you up. And that's just it.
I want to go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can't run a country like that. That's a direct violation of the Constitution.
I want to ask you, Tom Rice, as a Republican, just yesterday, overseas last week, we're hearing the election was stolen and there's a lot of cheating. We have proof of it now. Last week, they raided the election office, Board of Elections in Atlanta. Just yesterday, the president saying that the election was stolen and the Democrats should nationalize the elections in some 14, 15 cities or states across the United States. Your reaction to that, and was 2020 stolen from Donald Trump?
2020 was not stolen from Donald Trump. And, this is interesting. I would have supported any Republican nominee after the primary. I did not support Donald Trump in 2016. Until he won the primary, and then obviously I supported him. And one thing that used to really make me angry is how every reporter, CNN, MSNBC, or whoever else would, every time he gave an interview, say, "Will you respect the results of the election?" And he would never answer. And I always thought that was a bad idea because obviously he's going to respect the results. If anybody would do that. Well, January 6th proved me wrong, right? And so one thing that worries me now is what you're talking about. What's he going to do at the end of this term? Is he going to try to preserve his hold on power as he did on January 6th? And now he has a militia that knows that he will cover them, with the pardon power.
Yeah.
How far is he going to go? If you'd asked me before January 6th, I would have said there's no way January 6th is going to happen. And, I know my friends, who I respected For example, Lindsey Graham, who said on January the 7th, he lost me. You remember that?
Yeah,
Lindsey
I don't know
Graham.
what happened, but he found him again somewhere along the line.
I guess he found him again.
Yeah.
And I'm so disappointed in Kevin McCarthy, who was the Republican leader and ultimately became Speaker of the House. That's so disappointing to me. I'm embarrassed that he ever became Speaker.
I'm coming up on top of the hour, and I could go on forever. And you'll be able to by showing up tonight at the chapel of the college, 7:30 p.m. You'll see Matt Cartwright and Representative Tom Rice together as the Common Ground Series. Gentlemen, we appreciate the importance of you standing up, and we thank you tremendously for coming up here tonight.
Thanks for having us, Keeler.
Thank you so much.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
They still haven't found Nancy Guthrie. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The mother of Today's Show host, Savannah Guthrie, believed kidnapped Saturday night from her Tucson, Arizona home, where Fox's Alicia Acuna reports TMZ and TV stations received what may be a ransom note.
The note, they say, demanded millions in cryptocurrency for the safe return of Nancy Guthrie by a stated deadline. They report the note contained specific information about the crime scene and Nancy that is not known to the public. Now, the Pima County Sheriff Department, in a statement, said it is aware of the possible ransom notes, and they are taking all tips and leads seriously. The sheriff says investigators have cleared the home for the investigation and have now turned it back to the family. They have processed DNA testing that so far they say has not produced a person of interest.
The partial government shutdown is over after 4 days, with funding through September approved by Congress, signed by President Trump for everything but Homeland Security, as Democrats insist on immigration enforcement reform after all the controversy in Minneapolis.
Democrats demand changes at DHS by Friday the 13th. Otherwise, there's another shutdown for just that department. A DHS shutdown means no pay for TSA and volatility at ICE, though its operations are funded thanks to the One Big Beautiful Bill.
That's Fox's Chad Pergam at the Capitol. The U.S. and Iran still plan talks Friday as President Trump demands Iran scale back nuclear and missile development after joining Israel bombing Iran's nuclear facilities last year.
A regional diplomat has told Reuters these negotiations will take place in Oman. The U.S. military yesterday shot down an Iranian drone it said aggressively approached the aircraft carrier, the Abraham Lincoln. The warship recently arrived in the Arabian Sea. President Trump has warned bad things could happen if the two sides can't reach a deal.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Today there's a new round of peace talks in Abu Dhabi between Russia and Ukraine, brokered by the U.S., still trying to work out a way to stop their war. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Ryan Ruth finds out his fate today. The man convicted in the second Trump assassination attempt could get life in prison at sentencing. Ruth was stopped by Secret Service in September 2024 outside the Trump Golf Club in West Palm Beach, Florida, with a rifle poking through shrubbery. Now an update on the Trump conviction before the election that he called a witch hunt trying to derail his campaign.
The president's hush money conviction is at the center of arguments being heard in federal court in New York City. This after an appeals court directed U.S. District Judge Alvin Hellerstein to reconsider his decision to keep the case in state court instead of moving it to federal, where President Trump can seek to have it thrown out on presidential immunity grounds. Donald Trump was convicted in 2024 of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to conceal a hush money payment to adult film actor Stormy Daniels, who alleged she'd had an affair with him. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk's accused assassin, was back in court for another hearing in his murder case in Utah, where Fox's Matt Finn reports the issue is
whether to disqualify the entire Utah County Attorney's Office or at minimum lead prosecutor Chad Grunander. Robinson's team argues the prosecutor's office should be disqualified because Grunander's 18-year-old daughter was in the audience at Charlie Kirk's assassination at Utah Valley University. But Grunander testified yesterday that his daughter being in the crowd that day has no bearing on the office's move to seek the death penalty for Tyler Robinson.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed before today's trading. They're ready to go for the gold in Italy. The Winter Olympics start today,
with curling taking center stage as the mixed doubles round robin session 1 kicks off. Competition will run through February 22nd, with the opening ceremony taking place on Friday from Milan. Speed skater Aaron Jackson and bobsledder Frank Del Duca were selected by a group of their fellow Olympians as the U.S. flag bearers for
That's
Friday night's
Joe
festivities.
Morgan. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
We have mostly cloudy skies and 16 degrees at 8:05. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. An Oneida County judge resigning from his job after an investigation by the Commission of Judicial Conduct. Daniel Fernie, who was a justice in the town of Lee Court, allegedly drove with a suspended license and invoked a judicial title when he was stopped by police. He was supposed to testify yesterday, but ended up stepping down and promising to never accept a judicial office in the future. Fernie's current term would have ended in 2029. Rome police investigating a hit-and-run accident that occurred yesterday morning on the 400 block of West Dominic Street. It was a motor vehicle pedestrian hit-and-run. A female was struck by a dark-colored Ford SUV, which was traveling east on West Court Street. That suspect vehicle then fled the scene toward North Madison Street. Police say the female was transported to a local hospital, then had to be flown by Mercy Flight to a trauma center for evaluation and treatment. The victim is currently in critical but stable condition. Rome police still looking for the public's help in identifying the suspect vehicle and the driver. Anyone with information is asked to call Rome police, or you can make a tip through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, the state attorney general's office looking into a fatal crash in Syracuse. A driver was behind the wheel of a stolen minivan yesterday and refused to pull over for police. Onondaga County deputies began a pursuit, which ended when the driver lost control of that vehicle and slammed into a telephone pole on Erie Boulevard West. The driver, whose name has not yet been released, was killed in that crash. His female passenger suffered only minor injuries after being ejected from the vehicle. A new poll out shows there's a lot of New Yorkers with a high opinion of Governor Kathy Hochul. The Siena Research Institute found 49% of registered voters surveyed view Governor Hochul favorably, which is the first time she's reached that mark since taking office in 2021. And when it comes to a potential head-to-head against Republican Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, Hochul is up by 26 points. The governor's job approval rating currently sits at 54%. Herkimer Police have a new chief. Captain Rich Bowman appointed after serving as interim chief since September. He's been with the department for more than 16 years. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:08. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Not really seeing much accumulating snowfall next couple of days. Scattered snow showers around today and tonight, potentially tomorrow, but many of those in the North Country. Partial sunshine through this morning and this afternoon. Low 20s. Down near cold 10 tonight. To the north, obviously colder. Partly sunny 20 tomorrow. Then here comes the Arctic front. Mid-20s Friday, some snow showers. A little bit of snow Friday night. 0. North Country well below 0. We'll have numbers below 0 over the weekend at night. Some single-digit highs. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy and 16 at 8:09. All right, from the IBEW 43 local sports desk, the Pro Bowl last night, the NFC wins. It's their 4th consecutive victory. It was a flag football game, 66-52 the final score. 66 points, which is the same number of points the Knicks the Nets scored when they played the Knicks last week. How often do you get a football total the same as a basketball total? Almost never.
When it's flag football.
Let's see. The Giants have a new offensive coordinator, Matt Nagy. For the past 3 seasons, he's been the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. Previously, he was a head coach for the Chicago Bears. Giants head coach John Harbaugh had been looking for a new offensive coordinator. His original pick, the same one he had in Baltimore, Todd Monken, decided that he would accept the head coaching job with the Cleveland Browns. Robert Kraft, not a Hall of Famer, at least not yet, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was not selected for entry into this year's Pro Bowl Hall of Fame class. He was a first-time finalist, but did not receive the required number of votes. He was a finalist alongside former head coach Bill Belichick and players Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, and L.C. Greenwood. The official announcement will be Thursday night at the NFL Honors in San Francisco. NBA action last night. The Knicks got another victory, their 7th consecutive. They beat the Wizards 132-101. The Nets were blown out by the Lakers 125-109. I want to mention here as well, the Utica Comets are on the road tonight. They play at the Laval Rocket. They're back home at the Adirondack Bank Center both Friday and Saturday night against Bridgeport and Rochester, respectively. And the Utica Pioneers have a home-and-home series against Elmira College coming up this weekend. They'll play on the road Friday night, and then Saturday's game is a 7 o'clock start, but there's no general admission. It's going to be held at the Nexus Center. If you are a season ticket holder, call the Adirondack Bank Center box office to redeem a ticket for the Nexus Center. So the Pioneers will play Elmira at Nexus Saturday night. Again, no general admission.
All right, lots to get to. We'll take some comments on our previous guests, Representative Matt Cartwright and Tom Rice, Republican, Democrat. They'll be at the Common Ground event tonight at Hamilton College. We'll talk about that coming up. Also this morning, Ryan Nobles from NBC will have salsa in studio, and it's an amazing, you're going to love this salsa. It's so good, and it's coming up at WIBX.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
The Capitol Theater in Rome will be buzzing this Saturday night. Jimmy Fallon brings his all-new Everybody Calm Down show to the Rome Capitol Theater this Saturday at 7 p.m. Great seats still available for purchase at romecapital.com.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, and I am coming. This is not a drill, folks. It's the real thing.
A portion of the proceeds benefit Real Men Get Tested for Cancer. Jimmy Fallon, Saturday night, 7 p.m. at the Rome Capitol Theater. Purchase tickets at the box office or in romecapital.com.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's Industry Ace. Our Industry Aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and will help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
What's going on, Rome, New York? It's your main man, Jimmy Fallon from Fox Across America and Fox News Saturday Night. And listen up, folks, I am headed your way. February 7th, we're at the Rome Capitol Theater. You got a chance to get tickets to see me do what I do best, which is drink in the green room. But afterwards, I'll be on stage doing live comedy, a Q&A, a meet and greet. We're signing books. We're signing boobs. We're signing butts. You bring it. I got the Sharpie. We're doing a dang thing. Saturday night, February 7th, the Rome Capitol Theater. I will see you there.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Just a little bit. What do I have to do? I want to say the Good Feet store could be a real solution for your pain. If you're having pain, you know, not your average pain, but pain. Sometimes it can be really, really bad. Feet, legs, knees, hips, right into your back. And believe it or not, it could be your step, your walk. Maybe you're not walking correctly. And the Good Feet store can help with their 3-step system. It's a free fitting and test walk. You just walk in. No appointment is needed. This could change your life when it comes to pain. It's the Good Feet store located at 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. And if I can, River Hills Properties continuing to grow. RH Properties, River Hills Properties. It's all about the services they provide, and it really is the extra things that they do from the very beginning of the sale. The book, it's a manual for the home. Everything from warranties to when the roof was replaced, the furnace, and all of that. You go to it as a reference, but as a buyer, it's a great tool to determine, am I going to get into this or not? What do I offer? Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. If you're the seller, and that's no lockbox concept. It's River Hills Properties. They have offices throughout upstate New York and, of course, now on the Gulf Coast of Florida as well. Call today at 315-896-1009. Earlier, we spoke with U.S. Representative, Democrat Matt Cartwright, Republican Representative Tom Rice, both talking about what happened on January 6th and the importance of paying attention to it and the worry, both of them, Republican and Democrat, the worry that they have about some of these comments the president makes that, like yesterday, about, maybe we should nationalize the elections. And a lot of people will say, that's Trump. That's what he does. He jokes. Okay. Is that what it is? Some comments.
Yes. Okay, so where do I begin? Okay, Mark says, I believe it's important to preserve the historical record so that we can teach future generations of Americans about what happened, what led to it, and how we are working to protect our institutions against attacks on our democracy. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Hamilton College, for holding this important discussion, one of the most significant yet somber moments in our history. By maintaining the historical record, we can ensure that future citizens understand the importance of democracy and the need to safeguard it.
Okay.
Big Honey says, if we learned anything, it's that people don't care about January 6th. That's why we elected him again.
And I can't believe he's being critical, but Big Honey is being honest and critical. You're absolutely right. Ignorance is not a compliment.
Lance in Lee has a little commentary here going, message I didn't read earlier, but essentially that you're in a knitting club, and that's where you meet these people who say they love Kathy Hochul. And
okay, listen, you're going to, when you listen to this program, you should feel blessed because you are getting the truth. You are getting both sides of a story. You are getting an objective view. If only I had a voice that came with reverb, I would really have fun with this clip. But I don't. You're able to look at both sides. We are not one-sided here. You'll get that everywhere else, but you're not going to get it here. And go ahead. Sorry.
I hit my halo on the microphone. Sorry.
No, that's you got to be careful with that. Once you get one, it's not easy to maneuver. I'm going to tell you.
No,
it's really difficult.
So Lance says,
right, Beth?
I'm just thinking I should probably wheel away from him before the lightning strikes.
Yeah.
Lance says
you're right.
that the two guests that we had on were probably also members of your knitting club.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
because what happened on January 6th was A-OK. I think we should have more of it if we could.
Conservative John in Boonville, the one thing they forgot to mention regarding Kathy Hochul's positive poll numbers is that everyone that was polled, John, was mentally challenged.
Okay. Well, that may
I
be,
hadn't read
that
through
may
the
be,
whole message
that may
when
be
I started
true.
that.
That may be true. I don't know. However, Siena does a really good job in their polling, and I've been saying this all along. This is the makeup of New York State right now is so far to the. Remember, it's so far Democrat, so far left. The Democrats have so many people that are like-minded. You know that there are more independents in New York State than there are Republicans right now. This is the problem, and you should not be surprised. I'm not saying you should agree with the 54. What's the number? 54% approval. I'm not saying you should agree with it, but call it as it is. It's accurate in New York State. I am not surprised.
And then Tony Baloney.
And those in my knitting club all agree with me. Let me tell you.
Tony Baloney is throwing some criticism. He says, when does James Earl Jones come on to say, this is CNN?
Yeah.
And he followed it up
with
to
a
say,
name like Tony Baloney, you got to be good.
He says, No Balls is on 2 Nobles. Is James Carville expected today on the show also?
Okay. All right. Well, any others? Any other brilliance? Any other rocket scientists?
No.
That just didn't go to school for rocket science, but they learned it on Facebook. Anybody? Any other of those?
Some commenter named Jeff Manaski said hello to the group watching on
hello.
YouTube.
Good morning. Hello. All right. Next up, we have Megan Dorr. She is an experienced court attorney for some 20 years. She is a Republican candidate running for Oneida County surrogate court judge. And we're about to bring her into the studio and chat with her. And Megan, just get yourself nice and comfortable, nice and tight on the mic.
Be close.
The microphone there.
Good morning.
Very good. Is that comfortable?
That is.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning, and tell us about you, if you would.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm a proud graduate of Ilion High School.
Mohawk.
Mohawk.
Together we are one now today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I'm running for Oneida County surrogate court judge. A little bit about my background. I grew up in Ilion, graduated from there. I went to Nazareth College in Rochester, got my law degree in the University of Buffalo. Been a lawyer for about 20 years. I've worked in private practice. I worked for about 10 years as a court attorney. In the past 3 years, I've been the court attorney for the current Oneida County surrogate court judge.
Okay. Tell us, go ahead.
I was going to say, what is surrogate court? What kind of cases do you handle, the type of cases and so on?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So surrogate court, it's a county-wide court, and I like to think of it as kind of the court that people come to give a voice to people who no longer can speak for themselves. So whether they have passed along, they come there to kind of wrap up the affairs of the decedents, of the people that we've lost, or we do guardianships for people who can't advocate for themselves. We also handle adoptions there.
Which may be one of the most important things that you do. I feel the adoptions.
Yes.
Really
wonderful.
Incredible.
Yes.
And then you also could probably give people a lesson on the importance of going through your checklist of things that you should do once you get to a certain age to make sure your affairs are in order. Because if they're not, it all comes to you eventually, right?
Yes. I would say even if they are, it usually comes.
Coming to you.
Yes.
But when it's buttoned up, it's much easier.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And you worked in the, so this is the seat, Gelati's seat, Judge Gelati's seat.
It is, yes. I've worked for Judge Gelati for 3 years. He's facing mandatory retirement this year, and so I decided to run for his seat. I love work. Yeah, it's been a great. The bar is great. The attorneys who practice, the families who come, they really come in earnest, trying to wrap up everything for their loved ones.
Yeah. And how difficult is it maneuvering through the red tape? And a lot of times, not every family's going to come in harmoniously, I'm assuming.
Yes, yeah. That's one of the primary responsibilities that I have, is to kind of mediate some of these issues. Some of them are legal issues, and some of them are just complex family dynamics that we see. Yeah.
So if I'm going online, I'm gonna create a will, and everything will be all set when we go. I have done my due diligence. Am I correct, or am I a little off?
Well, I would say you probably should consult with an attorney for that. Yeah. I mean, the law recognizes a strong presumption that when you do a will with an attorney, that it's valid. It has strict laws to make sure that you follow these requirements, to make sure that everything is above board, there's no fraud involved. And so seeing a lawyer to kind of do that is recommended.
And I'd ask you about adoptions. As I said, probably one of the most important things that you do. And that people, but you oftentimes hear that adoptions it's just so hard to adopt. Is it still the case? And is that a good thing, or is that a bad thing, or what are your thoughts?
I think that, the adoptions that we handle, we share jurisdiction with family court. So we see some, but it's not the majority of the work that we do.
Yeah.
I would say that the adoptions that we do see, it's very open, and everybody's on board and happy about it. So I don't see a whole lot of red tape from our end of it, but I don't know about kind of the initial process.
Well, they had to go through to get to that point. So anything else you want people to know about the position and your experience? And
just that I believe I've practiced for a number of years. I think that judicial temperament is very important, to let everybody know that they've had an opportunity to be heard and understood in the court, understand how the law applies. And I've seen a lot of judges do it. I work for a wonderful court currently, and I think I could be of service to the community in that way.
And then finally, I would ask, what did you take away from Ilion that brought you here today?
I think a strong sense of community, wonderful people, and helping others, really.
And you live in Oneida County now?
We do. My husband grew up in the Finger Lakes, so he kind of settled halfway in between. And so love Oneida County. We've been here about 20 years.
Nice place to land.
Yes.
Nice place to land, the Finger Lakes.
It's funny, there was something on last night that reminded me of the Mohawk, Ilion, Herkimer days of sports. And it might have been on Jeopardy. They called somebody a cake eater. And that was the name for
Ilion.
I thought it was Ilion. I thought Herkimer was the cake eaters.
No, I think
it was Ilion.
It was, because I think we did it. The team prematurely celebrate by bringing out the cake to eat the cake, and it was in a rivalry with Herkimer. I believe that was what it was.
And by the way, the Herkimer-Ilion football rivalry was for years one of the oldest rivalries in New York State. So.
Yeah.
You guys are literally telling tales out of school here.
We are. I apologize.
The details are somewhat questionable.
Yeah, sorry.
Who ate the cake?
What year did you graduate from?
97.
97. All right. You don't look it, by the way. Anything else? You have one?
Just a quick comment. When she first started speaking about having the directives in place and stuff, and personal experience, my parents did that, and when my dad retired from the Air Force, they did all that stuff. Power of attorney, healthcare proxy, will, and then when he retired again at a second job that he had after he retired from the military, they revisited it and updated it. I was executor of their estate when they finally passed, and the fact that they took those steps, and I'm just speaking to everybody out there, because you never know. I was simply in a very difficult time just following my parents' orders, and the lawyer that we worked with was like, he kept pinching himself. He's like, I can't believe it. Families don't get along like this. Like, decisions had already been made, and my brother and sister and I had already spoken, and we were just following through on our parents. It doesn't always work out that way.
No.
I understand that. And I have a lot of respect for somebody sitting in your situation, because sometimes people go to talk to judges not on their best days.
No.
But everybody out there listening, do yourself a favor and take the time to get your directives, something in writing, because verbal promises on deathbeds don't hold up.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you one more.
And then we have a question here submitted, although I don't think you handle this.
Is it about Alien Herkimer?
That's what I'm here to talk about.
No.
Then I'm not interested in it.
Please ask what the difference is between a family court judge and a family court magistrate. Thank you. You don't deal with this, but I guess maybe you would know.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't feel I would be qualified. I've practiced in surrogates court. Family court is a court that I have not practiced in, so I couldn't really comment.
Yeah, I do wonder what the difference is, but I think I don't know the answer.
Typically, magistrates of any court is designated by the judge to hear and determine some cases.
And I'm assuming where the overloaded courts like family court is.
So a magistrate would make a recommendation to a judge that would ultimately order it.
The fact that you're willing to say I'm not sure is a plus.
Very self-aware.
Yeah. Because I'd have just run with it and give it
I couldn't make it up.
An incorrect answer, make something up.
Those things can come back and bite you in places you don't want to talk about.
That's true.
Yeah.
One more.
I've talked to Judge Google about this, and according to Judge Google, family court judges are elected or appointed officials with full judicial authority to preside over contested cases, divorces, trials, binding orders, etc. Magistrates are appointed who handle preliminary hearings, uncontested matters, child support, and initial custody to streamline cases. It sounds
you just won the jackpot.
That sounds
and
great.
that's
exactly what she
the
said.
The brother of Dr. Google and their child IA or
AI.
AI.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Megan Dorr, running for court attorney. She's been doing this for some 20 years. Republican candidate for Oneida County surrogate court judge. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry. I was reading the wrong line.
Good luck.
Quick break, and we'll come right back at WIBX.
The President's Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on New York State's largest selection from New York State's largest specialty bedding retailer. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has. Identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair? What do you mean? Does it not look good? It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret.
No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic.
Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Listen carefully. Silver prices have experienced a historic surge, breaking above the $100 per ounce threshold for the first time, and industry experts predict silver could climb even higher. It's not too late for you to benefit from the surge in silver. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 to get our free gold and silver investment guide. Plus, you'll also receive a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Debt is rising, currencies are under pressure, and investors are looking for real assets, not paper promises. That's why so many Americans are turning to physical gold and silver with Advantage Gold. Historically, when silver starts moving, it can move fast and aggressively. This isn't about guessing tops or bottoms. outcomes. It's about understanding risk and positioning before momentum accelerates. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 and find out how you can get a tax and penalty-free rollover for a portion of your retirement funds for 2026. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
All right, good morning, and in studio right now because it is Super Bowl week. Even though, I don't know, Becky, about you, but I now hate football and Super Bowl. And, well, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
I was going to say, because of the Bills.
Of course I must.
Of course.
So, yeah.
I agree. I'm right there.
Really tight. You got to be literally almost touching it there. So, okay, Becky, your story is Chica Solitas Salsa.
Yes.
Which is available in many stores.
Yep.
And you're growing that
yes.
list of stores, right?
And in fact, we've recently collaborated with Cliff's Local Markets. We're super excited about that. So we're all in all the local stores there. So yeah, get your gas, get your subs, get your salsa.
What are you looking for? A bowl. A Davey, a bowl. Come on, man. Come on.
You can dip the chip right into the jar.
Yeah. Can I? So what products do you have? What products do you have right now? We
have our original, the medium.
Which is
We have the hot, which I like to say is like supermarket hot. You know, it's not like crazy hot, not gonna knock your socks off, but just a couple notches above. We are coming out with a hotter version afterwards, and we just came out in December with our salsa verde, which has proven to be very, very popular. We're very excited.
And how do you make the salsa verde? That is
that's tomatillos.
Oh, okay.
So it's not it's not a green tomato, but it looks like a smaller version of a small green tomato. It's got a tart sort of flavor to it. So we've mixed in some onions, some cumin,
there
some
goes Manansky.
jalapeno. We got the crunch right. There's the bowls.
First of all, your heritage is Mexican.
So my grandmother was from Mexico. I grew up, to be clear, in Whitesboro.
Yes.
Big
Mexican population in Whitesboro.
Yes, exactly. But like many of us, we have, our family came from different places. My other grandmother came from Austria. And so, but I used to cook with my grandparents when I was little, both sides. And this was something that we would make together all the time.
What do when we're making salsa at home, if you're making salsa at home, what do we do? What do we put in it that's, I guess nothing could be incorrect, but in terms of what it should taste like, authentic, what do we put in it that's incorrect?
Authentic, a lot of it has to do with the texture. It's blended smooth typically. So that's
versus the chunky that.
That's a little more, American style. But some of the flavors, more cumin forward. Jalapeno, a little more spice. I could describe it all day long, but if you taste it, it
is so good.
Yeah, this isn't chunky.
No,
this is more blended.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is delicious. This verde is delicious. It's very good.
Thank you. And it's almost got a flavor texture like a gravy, where it's not.
Yes.
It's not. It's going to cling to the chip. You guys are all nodding your heads.
Now, are all of these in stores right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can go. No. So you've added Cliffs. Where else?
So locally, our first store that took us on was Shinatry's, and they've from the beginning.
They're so good with the local
biggest
products.
Supporter and still are. And so we're at Peter's Cornucopia, we're at Holland Farms, we are at, sometimes I forget my list.
So right on the way home, baby, because there's Holland Farms.
Kapanowitz, North Star, we're in Tony's in Washington Mills, DeSantis, Ridgewood Market, Brimfield Winery, but we're also in Syracuse, in Albany, in Ithaca, Binghamton, Rochester.
Wow.
And growing. So a lot of small stores.
Because it's really good. That's the thing. And you also have a few other products, like you still have the spice, right?
Yep.
The seasoning, which I use it in a ton of stuff, including eggs. Like you're making eggs in the morning or something, you want a little spice to them.
Sprinkle.
That is really, you can use that and so much.
Yeah, and for the Super Bowl, this is great for dips added to sour cream.
Yeah.
It makes a great veggie dip. We add it to plain breadcrumbs and then do some like cutlets with it, and it adds a great little spice to that.
That's really cool. Awesome.
And your avocado toast and lots of different things.
You want to add something?
That's good. I was just going to say, can I
my
see
God,
that
this
other
is
jar?
delicious.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I just want to put it up on the camera here so people can see that. Chicas Solitas. Do I have it?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Is this is considered your mild?
Yeah, it's like a medium.
Yeah. Oh,
because it's got
a little.
Thank
little
you.
heat.
Yeah, it's got jalapeno in it, where the hot has serrano.
You
pepper.
know that Beth does the Oneida County Public Market.
Oh no.
And this weekend you'll be in action.
Yep. Saturday morning, 9 to 1, main lobby of the train station.
Well, we need to get in on that.
Yeah, we need to talk.
Yes.
This is wonderful.
Thank you.
And the beauty of it is it's so it's unique. It is authentic.
Right.
We went to we were in Mexico once, and I thought, so it's my whole family, everybody, and I'm like, the way you tour a country is we give $100 to the cab driver, and he takes us in where the real Mexicans don't. None of this tourist stuff. Now, meanwhile, right after we get back from Mexico, we're learning of all of these abductions.
I was just going to say, does he hang out when you get out of the cab?
That are going on, and here we are in the middle of you can't even see water anymore.
Just ignore the fact that he peels out as soon as you get out of the cab.
Like, oh my! And then as we're coming back in, we got to the more of the tourist area, and this guy had this stuffed monkey, and my son wandered off and starts negotiating with the guy, and he got him down to $95 for the monkey, and he's pulling the money out of his pocket. So I ran over, and I'm like, no, he doesn't want the no, he said he wants the monkey. I said, he doesn't want the monkey. Who are you to tell him he doesn't want the monkey? I'm like, well, I really swear,
wow.
We were lucky we got out of Mexico. So it's nice to have the product here. We did have one of the most amazing meals, though, because it was completely authentic. No one spoke English. And I swear the salsa is very similar to that, to yours. A lot. So it is incredibly authentic. So.
And by the way, Chicas Solitas, no added sugar, no fat, and it's gluten-free.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want people to know?
Go out and grab some for the Super Bowl. Bring it, serve it, enjoy it.
Do you want to talk about any of your other businesses? No.
No.
How many do you have?
Well, my day job, I'm a massage therapist. So this is my little side gig here.
Little side hustle.
This is a good hustle.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure which is better. They're both phenomenal.
Yeah, really.
So, you do a great job, Becky. Thank you.
Thank you
Becky Martinuk, and you can look it up if you go to the website. It is chicasolitas.com, CELITAS.com. All your stores are available there.
Yes.
And it's a great one for the Super Bowl. I even think you take the salsa and mix it with sour cream, and that's really good, too.
All of those things.
Whatever you want to do with it, it's just so good.
I'm going to get my hands on some of this seasoning.
And the seasoning is
you
really,
got your hands on it
really
right
good
now.
as well.
Yeah,
all right. Good stuff. Thank you, Becky.
So look away while I put it away. Quote unquote.
Stuff it right in your purse.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll all look for that and get that for the Super Bowl, which will be a miserable thing to watch, but the food is always very important. Ryan Nobles with NBC. Ryan, good morning.
There's a football game this weekend, Bill. I wasn't aware of that.
I'm with you. I'm not really sure. Is there a game? All I know is the Patriots must lose. That's how I feel.
I know that I guess that is a rooting interest for sure. I agree with that. Yes. And I actually think, like, I'm not to get too far down this road, but I think they're going to be exposed this weekend.
I do too.
They might have had the easiest path to the Super Bowl in modern NFL history, and the Seahawks are a legitimate team. They certainly have the have a case to be the best team in football this year. They deserve to be there, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. But
yeah, I agree with you on that.
Maybe that's wishful thinking on my part, but I think I'm looking at that pretty rationally.
I don't want to beat this into the ground, but it's kind of topical right now with everything going on. I can't even what's happening in Minnesota, and although now it seems like the ICE agents are going to start wearing body cam, which is essential for their own protection and the protection of others, I would think. But at Hamilton College tonight, they do a Common Ground series where they bring in someone from both sides. This one tonight, U.S. Representative, former Congressman Matt Cartwright, and former Congressman Tom Rice, a Democrat and a Republican, talking about January 6th and the importance of recognizing what really happened on that date. And it kind of comes at they're here the day after the president said maybe we should nationalize our elections.
Mm-hmm. So yesterday here at the Capitol, Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, who's the vice chair of the Intelligence Committee and is a Democrat, but is as moderate a Democrat as they come. I've covered Warner for a very long time because I covered him when I was at Richmond as well. And he called a press conference basically to say that our elections are in danger and that there needs to be a siren blaring right now because of the efforts that the Trump administration is taking to try and get in the way of the elections process. And Warner himself said, if I had heard a politician saying this 6 months ago, I would say that the Chicken Little and the sky is falling, and I wouldn't have paid much attention to it and said that they're overreacting. But he said just in the last 2 weeks, the moves that the Trump administration have made and the president's effort to double down on these moves are actually scary. I mean, the idea that the director of national intelligence, who specifically has no authority or responsibility in issues relating to domestic issues, the Intelligence Department specifically is prohibited from being involved in domestic issues.
Yep.
Was in Atlanta overseeing the seizure of all their ballots from the 2020 election. And the fact that the president continues to say over and over again that he believes that the federal government should be in charge of elections, even to the point where he even specifically said that they should just take over the elections in 15 states, which I think would be pretty convenient for a Republican running for re-election, I think is something that we can't overstate. We can't, we can't downplay. And I think it's a big issue heading into the midterms if we are to continue to protect the way that elections are run in this country.
This, of course, is coming while so many other things are going on. Your take on what's going on with Iran, and we literally have a troop buildup in that region, as well as a naval buildup. Your thoughts on what's happening there?
I mean, I think it's the situation in Iran is probably going to get worse before it gets better, and there isn't a ton of a full explanation from the administration as to what their plans are. You recall when the president initially went in with that strike on their nuclear facilities, he said it was a one-off. It was all they needed to do. It was obliterated, and it would work. It was going to force the regime to change their ways. Now the regime has kind of just doubled down. They're literally murdering protesters in the streets. They're trying to suppress any sort of thought that is contrary to what the regime wants. And so now, much like we've already seen taking place in Venezuela, the question is the administration considering regime change in Iran? And that would completely upset the balance of what's happening in the Middle East. And this is something that the United States has been involved in before in Iran, regime change in Iran. And it hasn't really worked out that well. So it's a real question as to what the next stage of all of this is. And the one thing we're not seeing is a lot of interface with Congress as to how this process is going to play out.
I mean, everything seems like it's just a bigger story than the next story. And then, of course, you have all of this Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and the president saying, I think it's time that America move on. In fact, he had a really rough conversation with a female reporter from CNN yesterday.
My former colleague, Caitlin Collins, who's one of the very best at the game, and she's asking him very specific questions about the survivors, and he chose to use that opportunity to criticize her appearance, which I think tells you a lot about where his mind is in that. You know what I thought was the most interesting thing that probably a lot of people missed yesterday, Bill, about the Epstein saga and as it relates to both Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, was how Trump seemed to be sympathetic to the idea that it might be unfair for the Clintons to come in and testify.
Yeah.
The Clintons are his biggest opponents, right? They are the folks who have been a thorn in his side. You know, he ran against Hillary Clinton and beat Hillary Clinton. He criticized Bill Clinton a lot. And you would think that Donald Trump, of all people, would be endorsing Bill Clinton being hauled in front of the House Oversight Committee to answer questions. And instead he had kind of I don't know if this is such a good idea. Well, what's the reason that he would have that position? Well, it's because what the House Republican Conference has done here, and the chairman, James Comer, has done, and I don't know how wittingly they've done it, but they have unlocked a precedent that we're not going to be able to come back from. The idea that a former president could be hauled in front of a congressional committee under subpoena in what could be a potentially confrontational hearing. Presidents have appeared before committees before, but they've generally been in support of something, not because they're being pressed on something. How does this not open the door for Democrats, if they take control of Congress, to haul Donald Trump in front of a committee and ask him all the same questions that Bill Clinton is going to be asked? And Bill Clinton is in the Epstein files a lot, and I very much believe that he should be among the people that are asked tough questions about his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. But I don't think anybody can look at those files and think that Bill Clinton's role in those files is any less questionable than Donald Trump's appearance in those files. And the idea that if it's good enough for Bill Clinton, that it wouldn't be good enough for Donald Trump, I think is a thing that Donald Trump is going to have to reckon with in a very near future.
Opening a can of worms is exactly how I heard it described yesterday. This opens a can of worms. All right. That's going to be extremely interesting when it does occur. I want to bring in a listener who has a question. This is Joe. Oh, this is Joe Load. Joe with a question for Ryan Nobles. A blast from the past, Ryan, for you.
Ryan, hi, Bill. My question, I guess, is that don't you think that we do have a broken election system already? I mean, we don't ask for ID.
I actually don't.
To vote.
Joe, why do you think that?
Ryan, how is it not possible that you shouldn't have to show ID to vote?
All right, hold on and let him respond, Ryan.
So, Joe, first of all, the narrative, the premise that you're working off of here, that we have a flawed election system, is absolutely incorrect. There is no evidence that we have a flawed election
That's
system.
your opinion.
Joe, it's not opinion, it's fact. It's been litigated, for God's sakes.
There's all kinds of voter fraud, and that's been litigated, for God's sakes.
No, it's not. Joe, I mean, this is the problem. This is the problem, is that principals, people that know better, go out there and make wild claims like this with zero evidence to back it up. There is literally no evidence of any kind of voter fraud that would change the results, that tangibly change the results of an election anywhere. Any time that it's been brought before any sort of court, whether that court is run by Republican or Democratic judges, whether it's gone through the process of Republican secretaries of state, the best example being Georgia, it has been rejected soundly. Georgia is the best example of this. Brad Raffensperger, who's the Secretary of State of Georgia, is as conservative a Republican as there is. He did an exhaustive review of the results in 2020. They did multiple recounts. They did multiple audits of the content there. And every time it came back that Donald Trump lost, and he lost by more than 10,000 votes. So the idea that Trump continues to peddle this narrative that the election was stolen is not based in any fact. And it's not just in Georgia. They did an exhaustive review of the vote in Arizona and found no fraud. Anywhere there's been an accusation of fraud, Minnesota, we're still waiting for the MyPillow guy to come up with all of his evidence.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, where is all this evidence? So, Joe, you can't begin with this idea that our elections are fraudulent. We have the safest and most responsible election process in the world. No country runs their elections better than the United States. And the idea that this is even in the back of people's minds is a complete fictional narrative that's been peddled by Donald Trump that is just not true.
All right, hold on, Manaski.
So I was going to say it seemed like Joe's issue was more when he talked about ID. I'm not suggesting at all that 2020 was stolen from Trump, but I also don't think that every vote that is cast is legal and legitimate.
Okay.
Amen.
And that is not true. Not true. And here's if I can, Ryan, if I can. So that's saying the Oneida County Board of Elections is corrupt. Herkimer County Board of that is exactly saying that.
That's not what I'm saying.
Because
that's not what I'm saying.
Well, listen,
Bill.
because what happens, think about it. No, what is ridiculous is the statement. What happens is
every single vote is legitimate. That's absurd. You know that's absurd.
I am telling
There's never been a fraudulent vote ever.
Please let me finish. Please. And then Ryan, let me finish. That's why candidates from both sides get to come in and go over every questionable vote. Votes get thrown out. It happens in every election. It's a rigorous process that makes sure that what we
only
have
happens when it's close.
But
it only happens
I
when
understand,
it's close.
but still, Ryan, go ahead.
No, that's not true. Jeff, both parties have the ability to monitor the elections and the counting process from start to finish, whether or not it's close or not. That's not true.
Okay,
and also, so just think of what you're saying here. So what your argument is that there's this cabal of, I don't know, illegal immigrants or fake people that are just going in and voting. Like, just think about what it would take to organize the kind of effort where you would have individual people, because these have to be physical human beings that would go in and claim to be something that they're not and vote. Your name has to be on a registration to vote. That requires a level of identification, and it requires a level of explanation as to who you are. How on earth could you scale that kind of fraud to the level that wouldn't be caught? It's physically impossible. Just think about it. If you, in your best, let's say one person decided that they were just going to go in and, first of all, you'd have to know who the name of the person is that's registered. You'd have to know what their address is. You'd have to go in. It's just so difficult to fix an election. And this idea that it's happening on a mass scale and in a way that's tangibly impacting elections is absolute fiction. There's a million problems that we have in this country. The way we conduct our elections is not one of them.
That was a great answer to a question and a statement that I never made. Never said there was a cabal. Never mentioned illegal immigrants. Never mentioned dead voters. Never said there was a scale.
But you said it
to the scale of that elections were being corrupted.
Let's Joe quickly, and then I'm going to let Ryan finish up.
No, that's fine. I mean, you're never going to change that mentality. But I think if I have to go to a store and show ID to buy cigarettes or alcohol, I should go to my election booth and show ID, because you can change. Anybody can get public records of where people live, who they are, and just sign anything. They have no signature to compare it to. Half the time,
that's absolutely not true. Your signature is compared every single time you vote.
My signature on that election ballot doesn't even come close to what my signature is today. When I was 17 years old, my signature has changed considerably.
Well,
and to the average eye of some senior citizen sitting at that election booth, you can't tell the difference.
All right. Again, thank you, Joe, for your incorrect opinion. I really appreciate it. Goodbye.
Does he think that there are – I just don't understand what people don't think about this rationally. And I love Joe, and I'm not trying to hammer him on this. But I'm
hammering the crap out of him. Give me a break. Come on.
But think about this.
Sound intelligent, for God's sakes.
Think about how difficult it would be to go and fake someone's signature. I mean, how do you even know? I just don't. It's like even if like 10 people did that and went around and had the voter rolls and went to 10 different places in Oneida County to try and vote 15 times, you'd get 30 votes out of that. It would never be enough to swing an election, even in a county legislative effort. I mean, it's a solution in search of a problem, and it has all been created because Donald Trump's ego was bruised, that he lost the 2020 election by millions of votes. I just don't understand how it was rigged in 2020, when, by the way, he was in charge of the Department of the DOJ. He was in charge of everything. And then he won it in 2024 when he wasn't in charge of anything. Why wouldn't they have fixed it in 2024 when they were in charge of everything if they have this magical power to fix every election? It's such a frustrating thing. We have to start with the basic premise of facts. We can't just go by this idea that somebody said this is the way something is and just run with it. That's one of the big problems we have in this country right now.
Now, the other debate is, should there be an ID when people vote? Should you have to show an ID?
I mean,
and why is that a bad thing?
I mean, there's a million explanations to this. First of all, there's most places require some form of recognition of who you are when you go in, but
certainly when you're registered.
Obtaining a photo ID is a barrier to people being able to vote, and there should be no barriers to allow an American citizen to vote. And it's a much longer explanation and a conversation to this. I mean, I think it's a worthy debate. I think people should talk about whether or not it's good or bad, and I'm not saying I support or oppose it. I'm just saying I'm explaining the other side of this conversation. But the idea of whether or not there should be voter ID is separate from the idea that there's mass voter fraud, because that's just not a thing.
On that note, I'll leave it at that. Glad we got your blood pressure going. Joe Lode, yours as well. Got a break. News is next.
From the WB Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Is it a kidnapping for ransom? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is the big update in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. After TMZ and TV stations had turned over emails they say were ransom notes, FBI Director Kash Patel tells Fox.
The local authorities notified the FBI of it, and we are working with them in any manner they choose.
The outlets all said the notes contained details of the crime scene not known to the public and a demand for millions in Bitcoin.
Fox's Alicia Cunez in Tucson, Arizona.
The New York Post is reporting that the FBI spent about 2 hours at the home of Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie's house, and that the Today Show host was also present. The sheriff says right now they are counting on doorbell and security cameras inside the home of Nancy Guthrie, footage that did not upload to the cloud but may be on a server.
We're about to hear from Tom Holman, the border czar, now in charge of immigration enforcement in Minneapolis. And Fox's Jackie Hynek reports from the White House a change may be announced
that would prompt a drawdown of federal officials in that state. The plan would reportedly allow county jails to keep immigration enforcement targets in their custody up to 48 hours past their scheduled release, which would allow federal agents to pick them up while they're still in custody.
The day after Congress ended the partial government shutdown, funding everything till September except for Homeland Security. Its money runs out again next Friday as Democrats like Congressman Ted Lieu demand ICE reform.
Trump's ICE and Border Patrol interior operations are out of control. Not only did they kill 2 civilians last month, but you see continuing videos and stories of their abuses.
It's sentencing day for the man convicted in the second Trump assassination attempt before the 2024 election outside the president's golf club in Florida. Ryan Ruth could get life in prison. And it's arraignment day in Washington for Ramanullah Lockenwall, the man charged with murdering a National Guard soldier in D.C. and seriously wounding another in a shooting the day before Thanksgiving. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to